jeg de heri, noro gujtakta anni, divri hiri, noro kyasta makta anni, noro kyaktasta nakta anni, doro kyaktasta nakyatakta anni, doro kyaktasta nakyatakta anni, doro kyambarakta anna stokta unnu stokta uri, jibri ivriri, Norlo kyapakta anni stuburukku tuktu unni jivra atakta anna stuktu uru. Jibde ere ibti ivi bikte anna stuktu unnu juktu uvu tuktu uburka takstiki ivi ibi kitki imi tikti ivi. Harrokya takstakta anni darokya takstakta anni dark tekte ibita arra tekte ibi tekte ivi. Noruhuk jastakta anni, doruhuk taktastakta jakta urrukja pakta anni, jevehete evikta avorhutakta istikbe iri. Jevere ebtekte erhuk taktakta var adakta amarakta ibi. Norukdo urrostakta avarahanakta ebe ete ibi. Jevehere emehere uktovoro uchtikpi ivi ne erhestikti ivi noro ustakta amma har atkibe ebe jeher utuktukv urrukjastakta anna deheve ebe ere ikti ivi no utikti immi da arhen antktu ubu paistakta annustukta avveite hehi deheve bahanna tuktu unni deheve atakta urlakiatak stibi ivi nara ekiatastakta unni do urkiapakta astakta abeere ikte ivi jiv urhutukta ara hatak be erekiatstakta anni da ebeyastakta helakiatstakta eve heyen steve ime neve iye shabar atikti immi do urkipatakat nastakta ivihirra hestikti dahar utukto ustikti bi ivihi itki ivihi narha tagda ustukta unnu Vishasa taktaye dorukya patakti ivi azvahar anhur jovo or na atki ibiki ite tada orkya takstaka tatayatia atakata ataya takotor hotukte neneketara aktaya ba atakta ataya bukuto orhatakititi da orkuputo tataya stono yebe ibi na ikti ibi na takta abba eteteki tekna anorokyotur Nevetarhanoktu urrokyoputukstupu urrokyopuktuktu nahana ustuktu rrhanastukurrokyostukur hi hanna justu vaharja tokutu unnistivi issi takta anna yashoktu urrokyostuktu unnistivi nejastava harre nejastava arakyutu ustimini ivitikipi itti. Nahaira de ataktanno stuarabakititivibi. Nahaira de ivibi. No ruhustikpi ivibi katurhotakja nastaivi navodoru ubakta nasteia tananokutujebi. Netadadana rabakatukutu yoshteme ibi. Sayonara. Norokyo tosto nukutibi. Norla yapakta yesi. Jevarhano ramakuto uri. Jeheve vanoru akatatana uri. Nora atakutoto no uri datakyastani da yave. Naharakyastani haraye. Nevi ibi narakyotostokuto unu. Jevehere norukya deveheve. Dava argyatastoni. Jeve narakyatastoni norukya pakta anishti. Jevnakyasto kuto uni bijishti. Niyachishti nuru. Seyamaranu nana yabe. Nuyabe eyasto kuto uni diva parakitiri. Nuru jam uru ujdat. The uru ujdat danustu. Bira takyatastanu. Der atakyati tibi ibi. Normally now these movements would come in. Ha 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 ha. Yastakta uru. Jeb de eve. I'm gonna do them. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Jevnanayata keturu uktana shtevutana rukyastana jepiastaye jev lukyustu harhatikti ivi jekta arkitastanu durrukyuto nutur hayastenu durrukyastanu durrukyastanu turu Satiatana borleastana dur hikiatana are hikiatana suru jebdare hitakta anishti biri stibdana hanesta kiaturu uru halakiastana uru gel norholoyasta vekiastana nor Kestik bi iviti harrakestik bi ivi nestaktor Korokyastani, heyastuku, nabar ikdi ivi, nohula, nostovorokita, jeheve nahare, duhuri, jebda ana uru, jebda ana faratini, toro uru, Taranana kiti ivi dabar uru kiti ivi jedar kyastane marlayastivi ibi nayaktana uru jevatana ari sibakatana uru debra anne stava uru Tektana števo, džoro, nik tama anna stevo hurrukia tanni stivi naktanni stivi dorkiti kiavara nostikti davar deve iktivara kiastanni jugurugurugurugurugurugurugu ejivare yetrabatakiti ejeve ui te non noi tihti hai stivi neo shavara akti nekta urktu uva pajaste mehene do rohotukti ivi nashtavaru torukia bere enestivi hurukia manesti huruk hafio no pushti hurujata jastikra eve hafio no usti norokkivastanna tekiastanna doruja pakta avviteki evebe estortapana isi jevarama dur ektu ovo je pash no stoppte ovebe wat tot stoppte wat astu Noksto stakta onnesteve evvidekta urrukia takta anni takta stokta urrukiota stokta mehevena rakket takta barabuk chittivi paisti ostama ashtakastiviri ivi dorruk takta astiva aisti dorruk takta astiva astorruk takta hallakestama in habakestama dorruk yastovi bebe stor jevhebe darhatkti ivide enorruk debe eriatane deve nor jid kidi ividuru ustema derhem enda dor yidikte ivinor hokitidi neve ekte ivirur jive immesa dar etki ivi Oh la la. Sivina nai. Juro ya patata evi. Nakta ya vashina. Noru kya patata shtani. Noru kya ta fashana etai. Stena inni dorkja pakta nastana etia vatat. Nur hukja ta nastayatu. Dorkja pakta nastiava. Ndaravebi. Just want to see if I'm still in the picture. Yeah. Okay. Oh my god. This stuff. Urkiti stanna dar handa kiti ivi. Harra ja stavi ibi ivi da danna no shaguri ya don't think that I know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. This is not knowing. This is being. This is what's coming through. It's actually allowing. And that's the first time that I'm like this that I'm like this and that I'm recording it. Yeah. And the challenge is to stay out of the mind and to, what I'm doing right now, I'm doing it for sharing reasons. I'm doing it actually for, what I'm speaking right now is for the mind that is still in that kind of held in the structures, and to build a bridge for this to be, for this to I guess to come into that place. Yes, so for these energies to find a bridge to the mind and to be shared. It's just how it was inspired, was to put the camera on, because I know how this inspires. I love to watch when brothers and sisters, other souls on the planet, incarnate, share from this place of this immediate energy. Whatever is coming through is just happening. It doesn't make sense to the mind. It's sound, it's movement, it's energy. And oh my God, it's so powerful. It's so powerful. I just started. I just got up from what I was doing, and all of a sudden, it just started. I started to these sounds, this light language just started to come through. Yeah, I just started to speak it. And it was like I'd never experienced it that strong, and that like just it just takes over, and there it is. It's just going through. It's coming through, like that strong, without making a space for it, without even thinking about having that space, but just in the middle of out of nowhere, and then with that, a knowing came. Just a knowing, you can call it a download, a truth came through. And if I put this truth now into words, it's not the same. So to really bring that through, it's in that energy, what just came through. It's in all of that and so much more. And the mind can only grasp a little shard of it. Which is good, because that's a bridge, And so what it was that I was looking at a site of a brethren, sister, looking what she was doing, and her gifts, and her services, and everything. And I was looking at her and thinking, oh my gosh, she is so amazing. She's so accomplished. I'm feeling now. These are the thoughts, right? Because there's that stream. So it's one thing to see something and really like rejoice in that, and to see the beauty and creativity and talent and inspiration and all of it in there and in another person. And at the same time, when there is still within me, and I that was what came up, this like, oh, I'm lesser than that. I that's not, I don't know if I could ever do that, and I place a value on it. Like, oh, I am lesser. I'm not as good, coming from this place of not being not good enough. It's like, oh, who am I? Yeah, just like, oh, I'll never. This is one of the thoughts. This is one of those thoughts that has always repeated. That's like there, has been there. It's like, I'm never gonna be able to do any, I'm never going to, what is it, like, I don't know, be, accomplish anything, like, or be able to have any kind of true valuable service to humanity and experience. Oh my God, yeah, that's so true. I mean, that thought, that I have that thought, it's painful. That I'll have a valuable, well, actually, that I'm valuable, Whew. Yeah, that's very painful to think that you have no value. Whew. That you're just kind of a weed. A weed, it has no value. Whew. And you look at these amazing, beautiful flowers and healing plants, and then you see yourself as just a weed that has no value. Hold on one second. And if that's just a sliver of that, a sliver of I'm not that good, or I don't have what they have, but not so much in a comparison on a value, on the scale of value. Yeah. And so what came through after I looked at her expressions, what she was sharing, and what came from her, because that's how she always shares. It just comes from just immediate truth, inspiration. What I felt, it was like, I would say, it was in that moment, and I got dizzy too, and it was this whole thing opened up, and it was like a spiral, like a tornado came through me with this truth, with a very certain, and with that immediately the sounds, the light language came through, and it was a knowing, it was a deep knowing and beautiful. And feeling the whole feelingscape, the whole knowing was there. That oh my gosh, the deliciousness of the uniqueness that I am. But this is for everyone, this is that every single person is, and no one else has that uniqueness. Nobody else. It's just you. And that is so delicious. That is so beautiful. And it's so unique. And it's divine, It's a divine expression that only you have. And it's just, it's coming all the restrictions to that from society and from the conditioned mind, which is painful, that you cannot, that you have that sense, because that's how you've been conditioned. That's how we have been conditioned. That's the whole structure of the inverted matrix system. The inverted matrix system is also that's part of its purpose, is to completely suppress that. That's part of the purpose of not just the mind conditioning, but all the structures, the school systems, and the whole system, the whole system, how it's built up, is to quench this original divine spark that's within every one of us, and it's going to sound and look different coming through every one of us, but we feel it and we see it. And the thing is, when we see it in someone else, and that's why I was like, there was this draw to share it, even though there's also always a hesitation to share it, because anyways, there's also from the ego, there's a hesitation to share it, like, oh, well, this is, people are gonna think you're crazy, and why would you want to share this? What value? It's coming from that. What value does it have? And exactly, that's the value. That's why I have to now speak it. I have to say it in for the mind too. I have to speak it. And also, it is always this challenge of how immediate and raw and original and direct and unfiltered can I allow myself to be when there's a camera running and there's the potential of me uploading it. And so the potential of somebody else seeing it. So and I don't like, in those moments, I don't like any kernel of sand to get into the machinery, which is like any kind of separation that where the ego is triggered, But at the same time, there's also the draw to share it and to then practice being, just allowing that sand to be there and just being with it. And I can feel it every time there's a distortion in what's coming through, which is coming from that separate ego, and it's there, it's there too, and that's how, by being, just allowing it to be there, and not sharing and not having it be triggered that way. That is how I actually practice to transcend it. Okay, so about the uniqueness. Also what I realize is that when we watch others that are can allow themselves to share so immediately and express so directly and unfiltered and raw their divine, what is coming from the soul, that will inspire you, that will sound your uniqueness. It will inspire your, another's, or if I'm watching this, it will inspire my soul to express as well. And of course, with that, it makes me become aware of what is in the way, what is the thoughts, that training, that imprint, that condition that still has a grip on it, like what I was sharing before, like, oh, what these thoughts has no value, and people are just gonna think I'm silly, or people are gonna think, oh, she just wants to, I don't know, she just wants to show herself, she wants to be seen, it's coming from her ego, like all of these thoughts that keep us from dancing in the street, at the spot when we feel like it, in the city, somewhere outside, even in a park. It is so held here that as soon as you do something that is a little bit out of the norm, even if you just have a skip in your step, even if you're just walking down the road and you would be skipping, people would be looking at you like, what's up with her? At least here in this environment where I live, in a small town in Germany. Yeah, small, mid-sized town in somewhere in Germany. And so, that's the atmosphere. And yeah, like I took a walk the other day, and there were two girls, teenagers, young teenagers. They were standing there by a bridge, and they had their phones and they were playing music, and one of them was dancing a little bit, and it made me so happy to see that. And as soon as she saw that I was coming, she stopped, and she was literally waiting for me to pass them by, and that would take a while until I would be like out of ear's reach or something. So she turned around, and then she looked at me. Literally, I felt like, okay, she's in her field. She'd like to continue to dance, but I'm in the way, because and so she was literally waiting for me to pass, looking at me, waiting for me to pass. Well, she was looking at me because I was looking at her, smiling. And then when I came close enough, I said to them, "Hey, you guys, why are you stopping? That was great. I really enjoyed that. That was beautiful, And then I kept going. And so the right. So that juice, that what unfolded, because it's not like a download that it comes from somewhere else as a message. It's an unfolding within your truth, your truth that is your greater truth, and that somehow it was tight inside. You didn't have access, and now it opened up, and there was like a fragrance. Because it really was just a few seconds, where it opened up, and then it closed back down, and then, but not all the way. Then the light language kept going, and then it was just the light language and the energy that you saw, or that was before this, and so that was inspired by this opening. And where I really got that, to look at others that are coming from this place, it inspires your own uniqueness and the value of everyone's uniqueness. That's what I really got, was that no matter what you were conditioned to think about yourself, and what you maybe still unconsciously hold and think about yourself, what I really felt it was the value of each and every person's uniqueness, because it's a spark of God, of the divine. Even when that cannot shine through, it's there in each and every one of us. That soul that is one with the divine is in every living being. And this is what is happening now. So as the souls incarnates that are expressing this and sharing this, and feel free, have liberated themselves to such a degree from the conditioning to express, this is like a wave that it inspires everyone else to open up to their uniqueness and express that, regardless of what the mind will be triggered. The egoic mind will be triggered to have all kinds of judgment on it and restrictions on it. But that's also why I'm sharing this, as we become aware of this, we can discern. We can say, okay, I can feel, I know where that's coming from. All these thoughts, the sand and the machinery, I know where that's coming from, but this feeling is good, and I want to allow it to come through. And we can allow it like what I'm doing. I'm not dancing in the street yet, we can first allow it through if we are bashful, and if we feel restricted when others see us. That's how it begins. It's just for ourselves, but to allow that to then flow through in that moment. That's even a step to open up to just with yourself, to allow through something that is coming through, and that is not within the conditioned lines, that doesn't make sense to the mind, that is some kind of sound, movement, thoughts. Maybe you feel like lying on the floor under the table, putting your feet up all of a sudden or something. It really doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter what it is. Like, I could think of 1,000 things now, but it's just something that comes beyond the mind from within. And that is so valuable when you can allow yourself to do that, because it's in the field then. It is that fragrance that when you allow it to come out, that soul frequency, when you allow that to come out for yourself, within yourself. Again, there's more soul in the field, and there's more light in the field. And that sound is aligned with source. That sound, that frequency is harmonious. And you know that the harmonic sounds, the harmonious sounds, they are always stronger than the disharmonious sounds. And so you sound that into the collective field. Greatest service we can do. Greatest service we can do for humanity. And it is like cracking, it's like cracking now, that tight, all those cords of conditioned mind, into this tight inverted matrix system. By the way, the amplifiers and the magnetics to hold support, keep it up, the inverted matrix system on the outside, those it's like on the outside, it's like in the macrocosm as in the microcosm. In the microcosm, implants on the fourth dimensional anatomy, it's called implants, and that also existed energetically on the outside in the past to keep that inversion. Everything is backward, everything is is not moving in alignment, but with light, with source, yes, with truth, with oneness, with love, with unity consciousness. But everything was squeezing that out. Everything was built, and all the thought forms were like in separation, and were like away from ourselves. Divide, exactly. They were creating more and more divide through the egoic mind between who we feel that we are and who we truly are, our soul, right? There was that divide. That's what the inverted matrix actually, with the egoic mind and all the implants on the in our anatomy, and in the planets anatomy. That's what they were there for. So we could have this experience, of completely something like a complete. When we're gonna wake up from this, we're gonna go, oh my God, did we really live like that? Did we? Oh my God, do you? I don't know how much. I think the memory will, like a dream that you once had. You will remember the context of the dream, but you will have a hard time to relate what it was like, what it felt like, because your harmonics, your energy has become, your structure has transformed so much. And so, in order to uphold for such a long time, I mean, this has been going on for like thousands of years, yeah? This platform, and especially now in this time, as it doesn't exist anymore on the outside, all these um, technology, but I wanted to use an umbrella word. Okay, I can't think of it right now because I'm so in the flow, so I don't want to think of like the perfect word, doesn't really matter. So all these devices and technologies and just these installations, and and methods, well, I don't know about methods. Yeah, methods are still going. Okay, but the implants, the technology, the devices that were upholding a field that was supporting the divide, that is dismantled. That is dismantled. That doesn't exist anymore. So what is left is the conditioning within us. Now, within each and every one of us. So we are upholding it. And of course, what we do, what people do, to keep this inverted matrix system alive, because there may be still those that are consciously working on that. Maybe. Could be. I don't focus there anymore. It doesn't matter, but what I do notice is what is becoming what is clear to me is that it's like they're just holding on with their thumbnails, like trying to keep it in place, and it's just bursting at the seams. Of course, in my own experience, it's not bursting at the seams yet, but this was one of the experiences where I could literally feel the crack open up, and that light, that fragrance of truth. It was like an energetic, this knowing, it was tangible. I tasted it, I felt it, like a fragrance. I smelt it, even though I didn't, but you know what I mean. Like, it's the images, like when you go outside after winter, and for the first time after winter, there's a whiff. You get the first whiff of spring, and it's like this stream within the cold air that is warmer, and that carries these fragrances of somewhere where there are acorns or flowers that have been basking in the sun, and that have been exuding their fragrance, and it was carried by the wind, and it came to your nose, and so that's, oh, that's a truth somewhere out there, that spring is coming, yeah. And of course it's in here. And as it's in here and opening, that's happening with everyone. Some it goes slower because their shells are harder. But they're somewhere down the line. I mean, it's happening, No one can. And why would anyone want to, yeah. No one can undo this or keep themselves away from this, because God is waking up to itself through us here now in this time-space vantage point on this planet. Listen, but it's not just the planet, it's actually yeah, way beyond the planet, and but I don't want to go there. That's why, I could say it's definitely the solar system. But I don't want to go there, um, because it's enough to know that it's the planet. That's what matters. That's what really matters. And yeah, okay. Woo, 47, 47.